Hi guys, my name is Hina aka the Crazy Cat Writer, and today I will be answering 5 questions out of the 100+ questions that I've been asked on writing. I get asked questions on writing a lot, so I've decided to just take 5 at a time and then go from there, right? So today I'll be answering 5 questions on writing from Kiora. So the first question that we have is from Prince Wilson. How do I write a best-selling book in a week? Okay, well, first of all, you cannot write a best-selling book in a week, especially not if it is a long-form fiction book, because writing a book takes a lot of time. I'm not sure if they've written a book before or not, but if you're writing a book in 1 week, I highly doubt that it's gonna be a best-selling book, because you simply haven't spent a lot of time figuring out the characters or the plot or the conflicts and the structure. There's so many things in writing a novel. While writing a novel, you have to consider. So I personally don't think writing a best-selling book is possible in 1 week. I honestly do not believe that writing any kind of book in 1 week is even possible. Okay, so moving on. Question number 2. Question number 2 is from Sai Shri Maurya. The question is, when writing a novel, is it best to go for first person or third with the main character? Okay, while writing a novel, actually it depends on the kind of story that you're trying to tell. Also, you have to figure out which perspective best suits your novel and how intimately you would want your readers to know your characters. It depends on that a lot. And the third thing that would determine the point of view in your story is, does it have head hopping, that is multiple point of views, or does it have a plot that requires going back and forth in time? Also, something to consider is your story only a single character driven, or does it need a lot of secondary characters for the story to go ahead? Because if that is the case, then I think you will have to go with third person narrative. In third person narrative also, it would again depend on how intimately you want the readers to get to know about your characters and how they see the story unfolding. So there are a lot of things to consider. So what I would suggest is, first of all, while writing the first draft, just go ahead with writing the story in whatever person the story comes to you. Like when you start writing, you generally might have a natural writing style. For example, when I start writing a piece, I generally tend to start writing in first person. So that is my natural writing style, right? So for the first draft, you start writing the story in that point of view. You can then later on decide at the stage of second draft, when you start planning and structuring your novel, which point of view would actually suit your novel and would present your novel to the readers in a much better way, or in the way that we intend to. Okay, so moving on, the third question is from Rushi Patel. It is, what are the tips for writing an ebook? Ebook is simply one of the formats of the book when it is published. So it doesn't matter if it is an ebook or a paperback or a hardcover or an audiobook, it is written in the same way. So just concentrate on writing your story using the normal things that we use for writing a normal story, and then figure out which format would you like to publish it in. I hope that answered the question. Okay, the next question, the fourth question that I have here is, how do maximum writers write, with a plan or without a plan? This question has been asked by Shreyas Bamani. Okay, now basically it depends on the writer's tendency to write, if they are an intuitive writer or if they are an outliner. Generally intuitive writers or discovery writers tend to write as they go, by the seat of their pants, as we call it, and outliners write by planning their story extensively. I think the best approach is to have a mix of both. When you feel inspired, just simply let everything go and write. But when you do not feel inspired, or when you are struggling with going ahead in your story, simply just plan out how your story has to go, what you're planning to add in your story, what you're planning to show in your story, or what is the story that you're trying to put across to the reader. So you can plan. So there are basically a lot of ways in which you can write. One of them is plan a little, write a little. So I would definitely suggest you that method. Plan a little and then write a little. But whenever inspiration hits you, simply let go of all the planning and write. The next question is from Hemant Singh, and the question is, how do I get ideas for a story? Now, this is one of the questions that I've been asked a lot, even in my workshops, even during webinars. Ideas are not something that you intentionally think of, unless you're talking about creating content for social media or for creating content for your website, or maybe promotional content. But when it comes to story and especially long form fiction, you really cannot just sit and summon up some idea. You have to have an idea first, and then you have to start working on a long form fiction novel. But if you are talking about writing exercises and microfiction and something that we call as prompt writing or free writing or something like that, if you're talking about writing exercises, then I would suggest maintaining an idea journal in which you write down ideas whenever you get them. Also try and be observant and be present and observe things around you. I'm pretty sure if you have a creative mind, you will find tons and tons of ideas around you itself. Otherwise, you can join some websites, or you can just go online and look for some writing prompts, and that's where you'll find a lot of ideas. But I highly discourage using such kind of ideas for long form fiction writing, because I truly believe that while working on a long form fiction, you have to have a very compelling and strong idea in your head when you start a long form fiction project, because you'll be spending a lot of time working on your novel, and you wouldn't want to be stuck with an idea that is simply either not something that you really like, or something that cannot be developed after a point. So it would be a lot of waste of time. So I highly suggest write a long form fiction novel, or write a novella even, only if you have a very compelling idea. Otherwise, I would suggest try practicing writing using prompt writing and free writing exercises. So that's about it. Those were the first 5 questions that I answered. I will be back next week with another 5 questions. If you have any question about writing, then you can either comment on my video, or you can just DM me, or you can email me. Either way, I'll get all the questions. So I will definitely try and include your question in my next video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.